Hey, beautiful people. We are here again for yet another episode of the Mom CEO podcast. My name is Natalie Lee Martin, and I'm the Mom CEO coach. And this is my co host,
Lori Keaton, the six-figure COO.
and we are excited to have our guest today, Kiameshea Prewitt, aka the Money Coach.
The
Now,
money
Kiameshea
coach.
is the Money Coach. She is a military spouse, a mom of two, and she has been in the personal finance industry for over 13 years and has been a coach for over 6 years. Come on now, that's good.
Yes.
Longevity. She has helped hundreds of families and is now focusing more on helping women break free from unhealthy generational money mindsets so that they are positioned to build lasting generational wealth. So let us bring Kiameshea Prewitt, aka the Money Coach, to the stage. Hey, Kiameshea.
Hi,
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. This is just amazing. Tell us a little bit about yourself, other than what we read in the bio.
So military spouse, mom of two. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. And then my second home, I would say, is Nashville, Tennessee, because that's where I went to college, and that's where I met my husband. But I'm a foodie. I love to eat. I love good company. And I'm just your average. I'm your average. What would I say? I'm the least likely person for God to use. So I'm the one that wanted to be behind the scenes, wanted to, like, I used to want to be a music producer because I really love the music industry, and it's actually what I got my undergrad in, is music business. But I wanted to do that because I like to be behind the scenes and like look out on stage and see my work. But God was like, no, you're gonna be in the front. So but I'm so happy to be here. And I just feel so blessed for you all to share your platform with me.
Awesome. So, how did you get the name the Money Coach?
So I actually gave myself the name Money Coach because technically I am I'm a accredited financial counselor. People don't
Okay.
know what that means.
No.
And then financial coach, financial coach seems intimidating. And
Yeah.
so I was like, let's talk about Money Coach. It's self-explanatory and it's easy and it's approachable. And so that's how I got Money Coach. And then KP is just my initials.
Oh, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've been in this industry for 13 years. So, what made you decide to make this shift to focus on women and mothers?
Yeah. So when I have to say, I've always been a numbers person. And then I started out working at like a major consumer bank. And I saw a need for this basic financial literacy. Like I would get people, I used to be a teller, a bank teller, and I would get people come to my window asking really basic questions like, how do I fill out a deposit slip?
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember asking my boss, I was like, oh, we should have like a banking 101 after hours. And she was like, no.
She said no. Oh my
She said
gosh.
no.
That's
And I was going to
terrible.
organize it and everything. And so that's when God really started birthing in me this passion to help people with their finances. Fast forward, I, I I discovered that I was in debt. And so I didn't realize because we grow up kind of going with the money mindsets. You grow up thinking I'm always going to have a car payment. You need debt to get forward in life, and that's not true.
Right.
And so and then fast forward some more. Like once I finally started my practice, in I originally started in 2016, and one of my first, I basically created an online accountability group for single women, because
Mm,
something that I was noticing was that these single women, they were waiting on their husbands, which that's totally fine, but they were waiting to like make like these major life transitions in their finances, like buying a house or
mm,
traveling or whatever, because they was waiting for their spouse. But it that's what they said, but when I got down to the bottom of it, is because they didn't really know about finances, and we
Mm,
kind of relay all this to like the men in our life. So whether it's our father or our uncle, our grandfather, or our husband, whoever it may be, even with negotiating, we kind of just like, oh, I'm just gonna let the men in my life do that. And so one of my like most amazing clients, I basically help her kind of what Mom CEO does, but from the financial perspective, I
mm,
help her switch careers. And it was all because it was a money thing. She was working in corporate. She really eventually wanted to be a hair salon owner.
mm,
And so I worked her through the process of transitioning. And so she went to cosmetology school. She eventually quit her job, and then she works full time in the hair salon, and she's still on the track to eventually owning her own hair salon. And so when I just seen the connection that I had with women, and that they're like amazed that of my knowledge, which I'm not too amazed by it, but other women are like, I don't know stuff like that. Like, you need to share that with me. And then also I realized that especially women of color,
yeah.
we limit ourselves so
Mm,
much when it comes to our finances. And be blunt and honest, I was wondering, like, back in 2016, 2018, 19, when I first started my practice, I was like, God, like, why am I not getting any clients? But it's because, one, finance is very intimate. It's a very intimate subject. And two, if you feel like that you're never going to prosper, that you're not good with money, then why would you ask for help with it? Like, if you feel like you're never going to increase, or you feel like you don't have money at all, like, why do I need someone to help me know how to spend my money or how to manage my
mhm.
money? And so God showed me, he said that, women of color, or just people of color, a lot of us struggle with generational curses or generational money mindsets that we need to break off.
Yeah.
But we always talking about, oh, I want to build generational wealth. But in order for it to be lasting, and that's the key word, lasting, meaning it goes from generation to generation. It is truly generational wealth. We need to cut off those word curses. We need to cut off those strongholds. And so,
Mm,
long story short, I know I went all over the place.
no,
That's how I got into. That's why it's so important to focus on the mindset, and then I
mm,
can give you the tools. The tools are easy, but it's the
mhm.
mindset that we have to get through first.
That's
it's
so true. So true.
true.
I
Uh,
just know that because I used to work for a nonprofit, and I used to work with teens and middle school age kids and just teens
Mhm.
in general. A lot of them didn't know basics, like the basics about banks, the difference between the
Mhm.
checking and the savings, or the difference between a debit card and a credit card,
Yes.
little different things like that. And so I always say that financial literacy should be taught in school outside
mhm.
of, now Natalie, don't get mad at me because I know she loves math and the geometry and all this other
Oh,
stuff, but
I'm
I'm
not
just like, outside of learning the
bad.
shapes and the trig and the stuff that we don't use, unless you're doing something in that field, they definitely need to be um, teaching financial literacy, because that's something that we need in everyday life. And I just don't understand how we're not taught more about our finances,
Yeah.
not only in school but from parent to child.
Yes. Yeah. I actually did some research, because you guys probably don't know this. I didn't share this information, but I also have another company. It's an online tutoring company. It's called Ed Rebound Tutors.
Mm,
And I actually I own that with a really, really close friend. She's pretty much like my big sister. But we were working on creating a like online academy for her students that she works with in person. And so I did some research on just like minorities and financial literacy. And what I found was that a lot of like when there was like a case study done where they took different students from different ethnic backgrounds, and they provided financial literacy for them, and they kind of monitored them to see if the information stuck, and they followed them for a while to kind of see if it stuck. And so the Asian and the Caucasian family kids, they continue to go, but the Hispanic and the African American students, it didn't stick because they wasn't seeing it at home.
Mm.
And
Wow.
so this kind of goes into my target market.
Mhm.
So my target market, God revealed to me also recently that I have two target markets. So right now I'm focusing on that parent. And so the parent that has a college student, or a high school senior going into college, um, and helping them with the money mindsets and helping them give the tools and building trust with them so that they trust me to work with their college student. So that
Mhm.
when their college student graduates from college or from high school, that they have the skill set to healthy in a healthy way manage the finances from that new job that they get, that they open up their mindset or whatever. So right now I'm focusing on just women of color, and I don't mind working with families, but the mom is the heart of the family. And
That's
so
great.
that's why I'm kind of, if the mom can trust me, then the dad will probably come along and trust me as well, or the husband will come along and trust me as well. But we gotta do right so that our kids want to do right.
Mhm.
Um, and so even God was just showing me that like my daughter, she's just 5 years old. She talks more articulate than I did when I was 5 years
Mhm.
old. But it's the seed of me
Yeah.
stepping out and doing different things and being able to get to provide better for her. And so it's
Mhm.
the same thing. No matter if you have college students, you can still influence them in that way if they see that you're doing things differently, that you're not going to the cash advance place anymore, but that you're only spending what you have. Like
Mhm.
they're paying attention. I know I was paying attention to my family, even when I wasn't living with them. So
Mhm.
That's good. That's good.
So
And
true.
yeah, I love how you talk about God along the way as you're talking about finances. And for a very long time, for me, it was separate. It was finances over here and then God over here. So, how does your faith and finances tie in together, and how do you bring that to your clients?
yeah, so that was a really big thing that God, I prayed to God to ask him because
Hmm.
I'm so used, like all the families that I worked with in the past, at least majority of them, we didn't talk about God. It was all about the
Hmm.
technical part, all about do you have enough insurance coverage?
Hmm.
Maybe you should stop doing this so you can save money. So I was like, God, how do I merge
Hmm.
my ministry and my business together? And I mean, for the most part, God showed me it's really simple. Like he is the king of the universe. He owns
Wow.
everything.
Mhm.
Um, if you are a believer and you believe that God is the king of the universe, then you also should believe that he's paying attention to the condition of our heart. And it's all with the heart. This is a lesson that I had to learn even when I first became a money coach back in 2015, 2016. Um, and I was like wanting to like help all these people with their finance, but then I was bitter. And I was like, well, I'm not getting clients, God. Why, and partially because people wasn't ready to work with their finances because they didn't know me and I was just started out, but I was bitter, I was mad. I mean, to be vulnerable because this is the mom CEO. I was dealing with postpartum depression and
Mm.
I was ignoring it. And
Hmm.
ignoring it not out of like I have it, but this night something's not right, but I'm not paying attention to it, and I'm just kind of like going. Um, and once God changed my heart, that's when He started opening up the floodgates for me.
Mm.
But it took
Right.
years of me like realizing that even my husband recently, he was like, "You're so much more. You give so much more grace, not just to yourself, but to other people." Because I used to be
Mm.
like, you didn't get it right the first time. So,
Right.
holding people to this higher standard because I was holding myself up to that higher standard. But
Mm.
now I've kind of come to the point like, you know, you have to give yourself grace and you have to
Yeah.
give others grace because God gives us grace. Who am I to not give myself grace when God gives me grace?
Mm.
And so, yeah, to answer your question, God owns everything. It's not ours to begin with. He only asks us to give 10%, and the other 90%. Technically, we can do whatever we want to, but if we want to see an increase in our finances, I challenge, myself and anyone who's listening, ask God what to do with the other 90%.
Mm.
And then,
Mm.
and so it kind of, when we think about it, it actually goes together. But for some reason, we always compartmentalize our
Mhm.
finances from God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Other than tithing, we just kind of like, oh, this is mine. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, you said something. You said, give God his 10%, then ask him what to do with the other 90%.
Hmm.
And that in itself is a different way of thinking. I know for me, because you're thinking, okay, God asked me to give him the 10%, so the 90% is mine. So I own this 90%. I can do
Mhm.
whatever I want to do with it. I
Right.
don't need God's permission. He already gave me permission to do. And you just said, ask him what
Hmm.
to do with it. So that just, like you said, it exposes your heart
Yeah.
and the posture of your heart. What is finance really to you? So my
Hmm.
next question would be, what limits and beliefs do you see people have when it comes to finances, and what do you have to tackle when you become the money coach in their life?
Yeah. So it can be like kind of all over the place. It kind of depends on that person and their background. Um, I think something that a lot of people don't realize is that a poverty mindset doesn't always mean that like you're always spending money,
Mm,
or that you're really cheap. It can be kind of like on both spectrums. Like I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, that there's somebody in your life that has a pretty decent job and you never see them spend money. And
Mhm.
when they do spend money,
yeah.
they complain the whole time, like the
Yep.
whole time. You're like, well, you didn't
Trying to
have to
see if
buy
that's
it.
me.
Like,
Like, I know a couple of people.
yeah. And then on the other spectrum, there's someone that as soon as they get a paycheck, they have to spend it.
Start calling out my family members, Kiameshea.
I
I'm
have
trying
them
to
in my
decide if
family
this is me
too.
or not. I'm trying to see where I lie in the
That's
spectrum.
why I
Like,
said family members. She ain't talking about me. Mm-mm.
Yes,
mm.
yes. They have to spend the money because it makes them feel good. Like I deserve to spend this, and then they have nothing to show for it, and then
Mhm.
they're always broke because and I think they're not lying. Like they really are broke because they just spend all their money. And so both of these are poverty mindsets. The hoarder, the one that won't spend nothing, and then the one that spends everything. These two
Mm.
they're both poverty mindsets, and they both are on the basis of there's a limited amount of resources, and either I need to hold on to
Mm.
it all, or I need to spend it before someone comes takes it from me.
Mm. Ooh,
They're
listen.
both, and I've struggled with both. I've been on both ends of the spectrum, depending on where I was in life.
Listen.
When I first married my husband, he was the one that was like, if he lose, I remember one day he lost his belt, he couldn't find it. He was like, "Oh, let me go spend, let me go buy another." I was like, "Whoa, can we just go look for the belt? Like, why you need to go buy a whole nother belt?" And he was like, "Cause I can't find it." And I'm like, "Well, it's in your house somewhere." Like, and like we were dating, so it was kind of like, you want me to go to your bedroom and find your belt? Like, why are we gonna go and buy a whole nother? Because I was a hoarder. I would keep my money. I would not spend it. But when I was in college, I used to spend money like it was water. I was just like, and then complain about like I don't have a savings and I don't have this.
Mm,
And so yeah, so I've been on both spectrums, but that's like that's like a one of the main things is that I wanted to share is that like a poverty mindset doesn't necessarily mean that the person is poor.
yeah.
There's some rich people, there's some really wealthy people out there that still have this poverty mindset.
Wow. That is a lot of rich people still have a poverty mindset. That is mind blown right there. And I okay, you can tell me if I have a poverty mindset, okay?
All right.
my,
Let's do some role
my
play.
my husband is more of a spender than I am. I consider myself a saver. Like I'll save money.
She is.
And it's not that I have a lot of finances or whatever, but the Lord has really taught me how to manage my finances better. So I'm more of I'll save to spend, if that makes sense. So I'll
Mhm.
save things to spend. But if something unexpected comes up that's out of my savings plan and I have to buy it and it's like over a certain amount of money, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ready to spend that much money. And my husband's like, what are you doing? Just spend it. And I'm just like, no, can't we just save up to it? Do I have to spend it right now? But I feel like I'm so used to just saving to get what I want. And then I even have an emergency fund. I have my emergency fund. It's for emergencies, but I don't want to spend my emergency fund.
Yeah.
It's like
So
an emergency.
I think that's more as a woman, and like I said, when I had that the single women accountability program, I really like I knew this in theory, but it was like proven to me as women. A lot of times, money is a symbol of security.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So when we have to spend it, a part of our security leaves.
That's
There's
Mm-hmm.
it.
so I'm right there with you. And so that's amazing that like you already have like what I call sinking funds is basically when you save money for a large item or whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
which is the way to go.
Right.
And then it also ensures that you're buying what you want, that you're not just impulse buying.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I would.
So I know people are like, I do give a lot of whoopings out, but I also congratulate you. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I needed
um,
that.
but yeah, so I think it's just that security, that money is a security in you. Like a lot of sometimes, not all the time, just whenever God shows me to do this, sometimes I talk to people about their money attitude. So basically like how they relate to money,
Mm-hmm.
which is a whole nother thing. But a lot of women, security is one of those things
Mm-hmm.
um, is having that savings so that we feel secure and that we feel like if the world ends today, I have savings.
Mm-hmm.
And so like one of my clients that went through the accountability program that I had, she had more than enough money to be debt free, but it hurt her to pay
Mm.
off. She was just like, I can't do it.
Oh
Mm.
my.
I can't do it. And I was like, you can do it. And so I kind of painted scenarios for her and like, which scenario would you want to do? And it's up to her. If she chose to walk away and not pay off the debt, then that's up to her. That's her decision. We all grown. And so we have to accept our decision. But I painted the scenarios for her. Now, which one you want to be in? Do you want to be in a situation where you're still making the car payment when you actually can pay off the car and
Mm-hmm.
use
Ooh.
that car payment money and rebuild your savings
Mm-hmm.
and pay yourself and stop paying interest?
Yes.
Or do like which one do you want to be in? Do you want to continue paying forward? Because she had a truck. She was a woman that liked to drive a truck. So I was like, do you want to continue paying forward or do you want to pay yourself? It's
Yes.
up to you. It's a mindset shift. And she was like, and sometimes I'm jumping over, but yeah, she when I said it that way, it was
No,
like she got it. But yeah,
that is
That's good. That's so good.
so good.
Yeah, you see us sitting here like you stopped us. I told you, Lori, this girl.
I know. Ugh.
Yeah. So
Listen, I know you said you work with teenagers going into seniors going into college, but I might have to send my soon to be 15-year-old your way because we already have money discussions
that's
because he
good.
is about to start working next summer. So I
Mm,
said the game plan for you to start working next summer is that, of course, you're going to tithe, you're going to save, and then you're going to start saving for retirement, right? That's the game
mhm.
plan. So you don't want to work there your whole life. You can start now and put little to the side and stuff like that. He's like, Mom, do I really have to do it? Yes, you did. Because I didn't do it. And now I am where I am right now. So, but I really want my kids to have good financial wisdom and knowledge going into especially college or
Mhm.
going forward in life because we already had the credit card conversation, how we don't want to use credit cards and how it interest and debt and all that other stuff. But I feel like even though I teach them, I don't know everything. So I want them to have and I told him, I said, look, I'm having $1 million plus by the time I leave this earth. I'm gonna have these, 30 acres by the time I leave this earth. And I'm not just giving it to you because you're my child. I need to make sure that you know how to manage it and
Right.
pass it on. So he's just like, so you're not just giving it to me? No.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And it's good that you set that expectation now. That they
Mm-hmm.
don't have that, that's one thing about being a mom CEO is that you don't want to build entitled kids.
Ooh.
So set the
Wow.
expectation now because
Yes.
my for some reason my daughter thinks we're rich. Like, no, we not.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if y'all remember the episode of the Cosby Show. I can't remember, was it the niece or someone? One of
Yes.
them, they felt like we're not rich like your mom and me are rich. Like,
Yes.
Yes, yes. Sorry.
I remember that
no, you're,
episode.
you're poor. You're very poor. So,
Yes.
You're very poor. Oh, that
so
is
yeah.
so good. So good. Kamashay, oh, this is such a great conversation as always.
Mhm.
I would love for you, like, what projects do you have going on? Where can all these wonderful ladies find you? And I'm definitely like, if I come across a client that has any money issues, I'm sending them to the money coach because you're where it's
Yes.
Oh, thank you
Listen.
so much.
seriously. So where can
Yeah.
we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook at Money Coach KP, one word. And you can find me also. My website is moneycoachkp.com. Um, right now, I'm running a special because we're going into the new year,
Mhm.
and I want to help you. Like, when's the last time you had someone else, some other eyes on your finances? And I
Mhm.
feel like just saying that, some
Never.
people just got that cringe, like, oh
Yes,
no,
ma'am.
like
I
it's
did.
yeah.
Never.
I may as well go to the doctor and strip down. Like,
Right?
no. But I tell you, I make it as painless as possible. I remember I had one client, I looked over their finances and he was nervous. He was freaking out. And once we got done, he was like, that's it. And I was like, yeah, you're good. I gave him some suggestions, but I make
Mhm.
it as painless as possible because I do realize that this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is a very intimate conversation. It's personal. Money is attached to everything. So when we talk about money, we
Mm.
end up talking about other things that you probably don't
Mhm.
want to talk about. But once you get into a Zoom call with me, um, something happens to where God just removes that tension. And so I just say, do it afraid, because if we wanted to get different results, we have to do different things. And so
Ooh.
Mhm.
that's something that God has been teaching me ever since I went off, left Dallas to go to Nashville to go to college.
Mhm.
X amount of years ago. I think it's been 10 years since I graduated from college. So, but But yeah, if God has been speaking to you that it's time to elevate your finances, that He has an increase coming to you, then this deal is for you. The first two people that reach out to me, you are able to get a financial wellness checkup. And what's included in this financial wellness checkup is a 60-minute um, evaluation, and I'll send some paperwork over to you so that we fill the 60 minutes with just going over your finances and not you giving me information, but because I already have the information. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
also send over a confidentiality form, so don't worry, I'm not your information will just stay between me and you. You'll also get the recording of the Zoom call because it's going to be packed with a lot of stuff, and I want you to be able to go back and listen to it or watch it if you want to. And again, that
Mm-hmm.
won't be shared with anyone but yourself.
Yeah.
You'll also get I'm a visual person, so I'm gonna, type out everything that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I know one of my very first cars that I bought was a Nissan, and Nissan had like this thing where when you take your car to them for the oil change, they have a checklist that they go through, and it's just part of they do a thing called all point inspection or whatever. I'm pretty sure I'm calling it the wrong thing, but they just check everything and let you know how you're good in this area. In the next six months to a year, you may want to check on this. This is an immediate need, and so I'm going to basically give you something like that for your finances.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
based on that, you'll know you'll still have about a month or so left in the year that you can start strategizing what you want to do, what financial goals you want to target for the new year, and create that strategy this year before the year starts. Because
Yeah.
just like with your budget, I always say you create your budget before the month start. Don't
Mm-hmm.
go into the new year or into the month and try to create a budget because life is already going. So you want to do it
Yeah.
beforehand. If you would like to continue working with me, then you can, but there's no obligation to continue working with me. I'm just doing this from the bottom of my heart. It's a gift. It's 50% of what my normal coaching rate is, plus some extras. And
Mhm.
so also, what I forgot to mention is that you'll also receive a list of at least 3 action steps that you can start
Wow.
taking immediately to help you get on track. So a lot of
Mm.
times I find that my clients, they know exactly what they need to do. They know the what, they just don't have the how. And so
Yes.
that's the reason to hire me because I know the how. So,
Mm.
and if I don't know it, I have a whole community of other money-minded people that I can reach out to on your behalf. So yeah, so $88. If you don't know where you're gonna get $88, then let's pray about it. so,
Go. Ask the
so
Lord.
ask the Lord.
And you mentioned
Yes.
Mom CEO podcast, so she knows where you're coming from.
Yes.
Yes. Listen, this was amazing. Lori, I know
So good.
this was so good. Like
Mm.
tearing down some stuff. And we will continue to connect with you, Kiameshea, because I know God connects us with the people for where we're going, not necessarily.
Yes.
And so I am just grateful that you have been part of our community and continue to be part of our community. I'm speaking it into existence
Yes, ma'am.
as we move forward and advance into this abundance that God is calling us into. So thank
Amen.
you so much for joining us on this
Yes.
podcast. It's
Thank
been amazing.
you.
You are a gem. Usually I say
Oh,
people drop gems, but you are a gem. Everything that flows out of you is just great value. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me on and, again, just sharing your platform with me. Yeah. And so I think that's something that, other mom CEOs, like that's what we need to do. We need to work together.
Yep.
Don't be scared to ask for help.
Nope.
And that's in everything, in your money,
Yes.
with your kids,
Yes.
with everything. And also, and another thing I would share is this set me free. Don't compare yourself. This is gonna be hard. I'm preparing you.
Mm,
Don't
mm,
compare yourself to your husband's mom or to your mom
Mm.
because God has called you to the
ooh,
marketplace.
Ooh.
This freed me. Every time my mother-in-law would come visit, I would do a super clean, and God was like, "That's not your ministry. I'm a really good cleaner, and I'm a really good cook. But my mother-in-law, she cleans on a whole nother level. But that's what she does. That's God has given her that gifting to do that. And so when God freed me from that a couple of months ago, I hired somebody to come clean my house. So
Jesus, listen.
but yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
We're gonna end on that one because that was amazing. Go ahead, Lori. Sorry, because I was about
No,
to
I
say.
wasn't saying nothing. I was just like, okay, because
Okay, I received the word, woman of God.
yes, because I need it.
In Jesus' name. Y'all, we have a wonderful time as always. We
Yes.
cannot wait to see you back here again with another amazing guest. Look, mom CEOs taking over the marketplace. Okay? All over
Yes.
the place. Until next time, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.